Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another session with me, Bantu-Bethu. Yes, today we're gonna be doing shortest remaining time first. So, what we are gonna be doing today or focusing on is mainly about a CPU execution scheduler. So, yeah, before we begin, as we can see there, the scheduler selects the process from the ready queue with the shortest execution time. So a CPU is what does the tasks on your PC, like on your computer. So based on the task, for it to work fast or to actually handle the processes, so here's a method that is called shortest remaining time. So what does this actually mean? It means that, for example, here, as you can see, we have processes. So we have five processes, but the CPU is not going to execute all of them sequentially, meaning that P1, P2, P3, P4. The method that it's going to use is to do the shortest one first. So what am I trying to say? If you look down on this table that we have here, the table that we have here, for example, the first one is the 3 milliseconds, and then the arrival time is is 0 milliseconds. What am I trying to say? So the first one is going to be executed because it is the first one. So it was executed now at 0 milliseconds, and then 1 millisecond, 2 milliseconds. Fine. Meaning that the task has been completed because it's actually 3 days. Fine. We move on to the second one. Remember now that we are dealing with the shortest remaining time. We are doing a task that will take less time. You understand? For example, this one is 6 milliseconds, meaning that it's going to be the longest. But since the CPU is going to go line by line and then decide on which one to do, the first time it is going to be executed, meaning that out of that six, uh, one is going to be minus, meaning that we have five remaining there. Now, follow me correctly. So we do the third task. We check out if ever the third task is it shorter than the second one. You understand? Because we're comparing what are we trying to achieve is we do a task that will take less time first. Fine. We go to the third process. The third process, as you can see, it's 4 day. Fine. Back to the table. Fine. Process 3 is executed because why? It is shorter than this one. Although, if you remember from the second process, we said it was 6. The first time it was executed, 5, meaning that we minus 1 from that 6. So, meaning that there's 5 milliseconds remaining. So, if we go to process number 3, we have 4 milliseconds to be done with the task. So if you compare 5 to 4, you're going to see that the quickest one is going to be the 4. So, okay, excuse me. Yes, back to what I was saying. So process number 2 was executed once, meaning that the time remaining now is 5 milliseconds. And then we go down to 3, we compare, we have 5 here, and then we have 4 here. So which one is the shortest? It's the third one. So it is executed. As you can see, 1, 2, 4. Then we're done. So from 4, we go to from 4, remember, we still have the second process that we haven't completed. So what does that mean? So we still need to compare which one is the shortest. For example, we have 5 here, we have 5 here. The reason why that we do not move on to process number 4, it is because, remember, once we're done with the process number 3, it means that now we have 5 process number 2, we have 5 process number 4. So out of out of all the processes that we have to execute, which one is the shortest? So if you compare 5 and 5 here, never mind the 6 because it was executed once, meaning that minus 1 I was speaking about. So process number 5 is actually 2. So as you can see here, after process number 3, which was 4, we start with process number 5. meaning that P5 is going to be executed how many times? 2 times, because of the 2 that we have here, meaning 1, 2, 5. So now we are done with 1, 3, and 5, down to the P2 and the P4. So we both have 5s there. So what does this mean now? So it means now we are changing the rules. We are going to attend the one that was actually called in first, which is the process number 2. Process number 2 was the one that arrived first, and then process number 4 arrived later on. So if you remember, this is 5 and this is 5, meaning that now if we're going to go sequentially, meaning that we are going to attend to the first one that arrived, meaning it's going to be process number 2. Fine. We move on to process number 2. Process number 2, we said it's going to be -1, then process number 2 is 5. Fine. How many times is it going to be executed? As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we are done with process number 2. Then we are left with process number 4. Process number 4 has 5. You understand? So we execute process number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So basically, ladies and gentlemen, this table is here to explain furthermore on how does the CPU execute the processes based on what? The time that the process is going to take to be fully executed. If you remember, I told you that the scheduler selects the process from the ready queue with the shortest execution time. So we all have these different times, ladies and gentlemen, from the first time, meaning that this first one has to be executed because it is the first one. Going back to the table, it was executed how many times? 3 times, because we have 3 there. 1, 2, 3. So we move on to the second one. When we get to the second one, we see that, no, man, this one is going to be the longest. Which one is the shortest? We move on to the P3. On the P3, we find 4. We say, damn, fine. The P4, we can work with that because we have 6 there. And remember, the time that we moved from the 3 to the 6, that was an execution. As you can see here, after the P1, it was executed once. You understand? Meaning that we have 5, the one that I mentioned. So we have 5 here, we have 4 here. Which one is going to be the shortest? Obviously, it's going to be the 4. So the 4 was executed under process number 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4. From 4, we are done. And if we go to process number 4, we cannot go to process number 4 because process number 4 is actually 5. Process number 2 is 5. What else haven't we done yet? Is process number 5. Process number 5 is 2. Meaning that out of 2 and 4, we have to choose number 5 because it is the shortest one. So, ladies and gents, I hope you're getting the hang of it. So, now I'm actually going to end this video. Then when I come back, I'm going to explain the waiting time, the turnaround time. But you just try to get your head around what I've taught you now so that you can understand the basics behind this entire thing. So that when we move on to the equations, we move on to the equations on something that you already understand. So yes, see you on another video.